Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everyone. Uh, Emerging economy is very important subject that we'll talk about it. AI advancing and pushing the emerging economy. By pushing that, it's pushing the innovation and improving the quality. But to say the truth, there is some challenges we didn't highlight it. So today we bring together key experts to discuss this matter. We're trying to see the roadmap, how we can scale up AI in emerging technology. Today we have Dr. Najwa Al-Ghamdi from STC, Director of Analytical Innovation, AI and Data Production. We have Dr. Mu'tasim Aswadi, Advancing Technology Innovation from King Abdul Aziz Medical City for Science and Technology. We have Dr. Arib Al-Mugushi, Assistant in NCAI for Research and Development Sector in Sedaya. We have Mr. Walid Al-Balla, General Partner, Venture Capital Investor. So welcome everyone here today. To discuss this, we have to start from the beginning. We need to understand how AI drive economic growth. I will start with Dr. Najwa from your expert. How can AI play essential role in supporting our Vision 2030 goals? We know our vision, we need to drive the economy, reduce dependent on traditional sector.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lamia. I'm extremely delighted to be here to talk about this exciting topic. I think definitely AI is at the cornerstone of the 2030 vision. Nobody can disagree on that. But from what I'm seeing, how AI can help big time in diversifying the economy for Saudi, I would say three main pillars. For the first pillar, and this is a very, I would say, personal observation, we've seen basically more innovative, more disruptive business models that have been emerged in the current ecosystem, as well as more monetization opportunities. If you went to Leap, which started yesterday, you could see AI is being celebrated heavily across the different corners within the corporates, within the different organizations. And the best scene I had was when I entered the lounge for all the startups. You could see a huge number of startups, endless number of startups who are competing in offering different type of AI products, an API-based data analytics, a complete product. It's a whole complete offering of AI. And that scenes can give you a hint about how new business models have been introduced just because of an AI. And this is one key observation. Maybe the second pillar we could see on the existing industries, in which we see AI help big time into streamline and more optimize these industries. I can talk from my side, which is where I work in STC, and telco, and in telco domain, we've seen AI has done a lot when it comes to optimizing the internal processes, improving the customer experience. We can see the impact directly in monetary. We have more revenue generation opportunities, revenue protection, also cost optimization by just improving the customer experience using AI. And the third pillar that I've seen is basically how AI can help to boost the citizen experience. You could think about how AI could help which is our daily struggle, the traffic, or help to optimize the energy, or for example, help to optimize the waste. You could see that can help big time to increase the citizen or to enhance the citizen experience. That would definitely reflect back on other domains, like, for example, tourism, entertainment, fintechs. All of that can generate more revenues and help big time to diversify the economy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Najwa. You highlighted three pillars. I can link this to one subject we're talking today with Dr. Mu'tasim about the experience of these entrepreneurship, these startup, how they AI support more startup, support more entrepreneurship, and there is some initiative like Garage and Code. They are helping this. We can see how AI boosting this. Do you have any successful story you can share it with us, Doctor?
Yes. Thank you for this question, Dr. Lamia. Let me begin by saying that there are great inspiring examples in emerging markets that clearly illustrate the transformative power of AI. One remarkable success story comes from the healthcare sectors. In the several emerging markets or emerging economies, the use of AI in medical data analysis that are enable early detection of disease and personalized treatment plan. And that will lead us to enhance the outcomes from the healthcare sector and at the same time reduce cost significantly. Furthermore, in the field of logistics and supply chain management, the AI has optimized delivery route and reduced delay, saving cost and time at the same time. In advanced countries such as Saudi Arabia with our Vision 2030, and as you said, we have a Garage, many of startups using AI to enhance the innovation business model, not only to improve efficiency, but also to drive sustainable and economic growth. All these examples clearly show that the AI helps companies to collect and process the large amount of data quickly, and that will lead us also to better decision making. I can say the lessons learned from all these real-world examples demonstrate by using AI, the emerging market can unlock significant opportunities for innovation and economic transformation.
Thank you, Dr. Mu'tasim. So, from your perspective, AI in health, especially, which is the innovation that happen, it can success not only economy. I can see the human here in our kingdom and around the world.
Yes.
Dr. Arib, from your experience, now we know that from our colleagues here that AI can apply in different sectors. Dr. Mu'tasim, he talked about AI in health, which is very important, and innovation. From your experience, which sector that can affect more in affecting more and push the emerging technology? Health sector, energy, fintech. Can you tell us more about that?
Thank you. I think AI is going to revolutionize whatever sector it goes in. It's been changing our lives every day. We wake up with ChatGPT or whatever your variant you prefer. It's been changing a lot how we think and interact with the world. Health sector, it's already changing a lot of things that's been done with drug discovery, personalized healthcare, medical imaging, and so on. All of these things are being pushed hard and invested in by companies and governments to widen the reach to health sector. You have also for education, personalized learning, having a teacher for each student has been a dream for everyone. And with AI, you can go and have lifelong learning with these LLMs, and that can adapt to what you need and even do advanced research with you. And you can there is no limits to what it's been. It's been what's been achieved right now. And I'm always amazed about the next big thing that's going to happen with these LLMs currently that have changed a lot of how we used to think about AI and its capabilities. The team that I'm working with is training Allam, the Arabic large language model, and it's been an absolute privilege to work on these advanced technologies and see how how the team here have managed to do real technology transfer and understand the mechanics of how these LLMs work. And in terms, I think the most important thing is as these LLMs go and AI becomes more pervasive and entwined with our lives, there is also a question of our culture, our beliefs, because these LLMs will do things on your behalf. They're not only interacting or answering your questions. The next step is for them to go and act on your behalf, be intelligent agents, finishing your work, doing things that you were making decisions before. And if these LLMs don't understand our culture or cannot comprehend the different nuances that we have, this is going to be a huge, I think, threat to who we are and our identity. So it's very important for any economy and for Saudi Arabia to have its stamp and to know how to leverage this new technology while also maintaining its rich culture and heritage.
Thank you. From what I heard, it's specific to all sectors, not specific one. We have Mr. Walid Al-Billah here with us from private sector. Maybe he can talk about why AI, not other technology, have this effect in emerging technology, emerging economy, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Doctor. I think what we're witnessing today is nothing short of a shift, a new paradigm in our relationship with technology. If you happen to have attended Dr. Ahmed's previous talk when he was telling us about how their agents are actually serving their clients, what he's talking about here is not the typical software as a service. It's the other way around. It's service as software. So we're not talking anymore about the budget of IT. We're talking about the budget of labor. We're talking about agents working shoulder to shoulder with human beings. This is a totally different paradigm now. It's not just a tool. It's actually part of the workforce. And that's a very different paradigm than what he had before. And a lot of things needed to happen for this to be possible, one of which is allowing technology to use the same API as us humans, which is language, human language. That was not really possible, practical before until recently. And then the reasoning that allowed also agents to actually work and complete workflows that human beings usually are doing. And this is not to say that LLMs or agents will replace humans. In fact, it will actually make them more productive. It would actually enable the people who have the right skills to even thrive much better. One of the companies I work with here in Saudi, they are implementing this service as a software kind of concept. And the way they go to the clients, they work with F&B clients, helping the operations teams work better through utilizing agents based on visual cues, whether from the camera or other ways of getting input. And you see how they price it. They price it as a worker. Mm-hmm. So it's not a software pricing. You're not paying for a technology. They tell you, you want this worker, that their salary, monthly salary is 2,000 riyals. You want this type of worker, it's an agent, you pay this kind of salary. So the budget is not coming from the technology budget or the CTO's budget. It's coming actually from the operations manager's budget. And that's a big shift in terms of how AI is impacting the economy. And on another hand, it's also allowing us, if you look at even in research, you look at labs in the US, they've been able to unlock a lot of new research that wasn't possible before because there's lots of grunt work involved with research and getting some calculations done or some modeling done, where now these researchers cannot focus on the higher value work that only humans can do and leave the rest to these intelligent agents as well. So I think we're still in the beginning, but what we're seeing, at least from a VC point of view, is that the total addressable market for technology is not IT anymore. It's a whole labor market, which is a magnitude of order bigger than whatever used to be there before.
Wow, thank you very much. So we understand from pillars to healthcare, innovation in AI, and the challenges, and you mean that AI accelerating things, so saving time, saving money. This is I'm not economist, but this is the simple things that I understand from this. Going back to Dr. Arib, now we understand the AI, how it helps us to improve and increase and push the emerging economy. Where is the challenges that we should highlight it and we should take care, and what do you think the solution for these challenges, Dr. Arib?
Okay, I'll start with the challenges. So the availability of high quality data to train these LLMs or these new technologies that we have, that's a challenge. The labor or the talent actually that have the skills to build these technologies, that's another. And the compute or the availability of GPUs to train these LLMs are all quite a hindrance to any nation that wants to get into AI, if we're talking about emerging technologies. But the availability of open source LLMs has helped, or open weights LLMs has helped access to a lot of startups or companies or researchers to not start from scratch but to continue their work from there, and it kind of eliminated the need for all of this upfront costs that usually are incurred by an entity that wants to build its own LLM or to use it. So these are what we call really important assets to have if you want to compete in this market as a nation. But if you want to use and adapt these LLMs, they're already there for different users or entities to be used currently.
Thank you, Dr. Arib. So, Dr. Arib, she mentioned that data is very important, and not any data, cleaning data. So, I agree with her. I usually say the data is the new oil. Dr. Mu'tasim, since Dr. Arib mentioned the data and the clean data, how much accessibility for these data will be very great panel for pushing this economy, and what do you think, in your opinion, strategy that we can support this?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Lamia, for this question. Also, let me start by emphasizing that data is the lifeblood of the artificial intelligence.
صحيح.
Data is the heart of AI. Without accessible for high quality data, and even if we have the most advanced AI algorithms, models cannot work or perform effectively. So data is essential to train models, enhance their accuracy, and also ultimately the innovation. In these days, we can say that in many emerging economies, data accessibility is prevented by fragmented data source and strict rules that limit data sharing. So the clear, I think from my point of view, clear guidelines for sharing the data in the many or different sector become very difficult.
Yes.
Therefore, implementing clear and balanced data governance policy that protect privacy, and also we can encourage sharing data in many fields. I think promoting an open data initiatives in both sides, national and international, can create a more interconnected and dynamic ecosystem. Also, using cloud technology solution can help collect and store and process data easily. So if we need to summarize all this information, I can put in two major points. By solid data accessibility and promoting an environment of responsible data sharing are the most important points to build a strong and scalable AI ecosystem, which will also which already support the economic growth and innovation in emerging markets.
Thank you, Dr. Mu'tasim. Supporting governance for data is very important and should be done very quickly. Dr. Najwa, from your experience, do you think as STC background and also a professor in the university, data, how much important in this manner? I'm sure you have some highlight points.
Absolutely. I think I cannot agree more with what's been shared by my colleagues here. And again, it's not just only the data when it comes to AI, it's all about what would be the context or the business case that you are actually trying to solve. What we've seen, for example, in STC is the having enough sufficient amount of data with enough features that can help you to characterize the business problem that you wanted to solve is the main key issue. And not only that, it's also the quality of these data, because they can be really variable. Sometimes they can be in a very good shape when they are in the development stage, but when they go to production, they have that volatility. We've seen many cases for data drift, for model drift, that can change big time when you put things into production. And this could affect the overall experience and may have a very major consequences. And here comes the role of having a very robust MLOps kind of activities, infrastructure, protocols that can help you to detect any sort of drift that could happen in the data quality or the availability of these data, and also whether the models start to produce outcomes that does not really match the initial results or serve or answer the questions that need to be answered. So I think this is one big issue, because in a very recent, I would say, survey, 80% of the POCs of AI cannot be scaled, and data is one part of that, in addition of having a very robust infrastructure that help you to monitor and understand if there is any, I would say, irregularity stuff that could happen that could affect the outcomes of these models. Data is not an issue for STC, by the way, because we have a big mine of data that can give you multiple use cases, different example of AI products, but how to maintain these data in a very good shape is the current challenge, and we are trying to approach it by having, as I mentioned, the right infrastructure, as well as having a special index that track the health, we call it the health index of the data, to make sure that the data quality is always up to par.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, it's very important information to have this data, clear data, because we know AI trained on data, and the accuracy of AI output is how much data are there. So this is lead me to maybe Mr. Walid, because you're from private sector. How did DeepSeek changing the narrative of how nation may compete with AI? I'm sure everybody hear about DeepSeek, so maybe from your perspective, Mr. Walid.
Right. So, a lot of people will expect me to say DeepSeek, means, reduction in cost of AI, and now everyone, is going to have AI in their oven or fridge, but that's not the case. If you look at the analysis that's coming from the semiconductor space, you'll see very different points of view that I think we got the wrong lesson from what happened in DeepSeek. The lesson wasn't about cost. It's about the democratization of AI that is not limited to a certain region in the world. This is a race that all nations will be participating in, including us here in Saudi. That's the real lesson. The innovations that were done by the DeepSeek R1 team and the new techniques they introduced are really fundamental. They're very interesting. But the cost argument is not the one that we should be focusing on. In fact, if you look at a recent report from UBS, the investment banking entity, they expect the capex investment, the capital that the four biggest US companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta, will be spending on AI infrastructure. Actually, this year is going to be $300 billion. That's a 25% increase from the prediction that they have a few weeks ago. In fact, Google just last week increased their capex for AI infrastructure. And this is double what these companies spent in 2023. So definitely there will be more spending, more capex for AI. And also if you think about what's next after the transformer model. The transformer model took so many years to become this mainstream. It's not totally new. It's not something that came out with ChatGPT. It was even before that. If you look at the attention model paper that came out of Google and others. So what are the alternatives to transformer model? What are the alternatives to the computing architecture that we have today, the von Neumann architecture, which existed since, I don't know, the late 50s, 60s of last century? What about quantum computing? What about neuromorphic computing? What about biological-based computing? I think a lot of people need to focus on that. From economic point of view, and this is something that Nadella from Microsoft also pointed out, you have the Jevons paradox, which means if the costs actually go lower, the consumption of the technology will go higher. So overall, an aggregate will be spending more. So think about AI, large language models on edge computing. What kind of spending will be happening there? So I think in terms of the DeepSeek moment, as a lot of people call it, we need to actually focus on the right lessons. It's not cost. It's actually that the race is accelerating. The race is open to all nations. We need to think about our own local context. I really feel, uncomfortable when we talk about safe intelligence, utilizing values of system of Europe or the US. We have a very different value system here. We have different priorities. Technological sovereignty is an issue that is actually very worrying for every nation in the world. So we should not be limiting ourselves to the same kind of mindsets that are there. We should be thinking about our own priorities. And in fact, if anything, we should be accelerating spending on AI and infrastructure rather than slowing down.
Oh, wow, you are very right. We have to accelerate. I mean, I was reading a book, The Future is Faster Than What We Think. The future really is faster. So we have to accelerate in this. I will give you floor, but I'll have last word from Dr. Arib before we have question, if you have something to conclude today.
I cannot agree more with what Mr. Walid said. We should learn the right lessons from DeepSeek. It's about homegrown technologies, homegrown talent, and being on the cutting edge of research. And as soon as we invest more in that, which we are already doing, we focus on that, our priority, I think, will excel as a nation.
Thank you. Dr. Mu'tasim? Last conclusion of today's talk.
I think we have to put, as we said, clear guidelines to sharing data and also to support our startups, what we can create it from our organization like Raj to become or to build a bright future for our economics.
Thank you. Dr. Najwa?
Quickly, I think AI will inevitably disrupt your business. So we need to be very careful and very ready for that phase by looking into your AI strategy in your organization, your investment options. It's a very nice discussion that we heard today from Walid and Dr. Arib about DeepSeek and what happened today. And definitely the story is completely different when you do the testing. So generally speaking, you need to have a very clear AI strategy. How do you want to employ it? Do you want to build it from the scratch? Do you want to rely on proprietary models or open source? Do you want to have that built by strategy and all of that? And then look into the people side as well. Do you need to uplift the team that you have? How do you maintain your talents? So looking into the whole ecosystem that's going to AI, that make AI thrive in your organization, because AI is here to stay and even to grow. It's not a bubble. It's basically something that would disrupt and change the face of the things that we used to do in the current age, and we have to be ready for that.
Thank you, Dr. Najwa. I can't agree more also. Great session, great panelists, all of them believing in AI and how much it's important and how much we should accelerate it and adopt it. We have the talent, we have the power, we have the support from our leadership. So I'll leave the floor for you for any question for the panelists.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, distinguished panelists, for a very enriching and enlightening views and perspectives. My name is Walid al-Somali. I'm currently an advisor at the Ministry of Investments on Human Capital and Innovation. I would like to solicit the views of the distinguished panelists on a concept as we are moving toward AI deployment. There is something which I think could really enhance the impact of AI at the national level, which is establishing some sort of a learning organizations. Many initiatives are taking place. Many organizations are putting investments and resources in AI, whether at the private sector or the government or academia. Yet we need to establish some sort of a learning ecosystem. I remember, for example, when I used to work for Aramco, we had a concept called community of practice, which has 70 organizations within the company. These are professionals in certain fields. They come together, they work together, they exchange global best practices and learning. I think something along this line would be extremely beneficial, bringing universities, academic organizations, and private companies. One last point. For example, we at the Ministry of Investment, we managed, alhamdulillah, to attract more than 571 international companies to reside here in the kingdom. This is, and all of them are international global companies. These companies can be part of this ecosystem. And I think the idea could be explored if possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this comment. We can add it to our, yeah, you're right. Talent is very important, and upscaling them is also very important. Thank you very much. Question here.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. I'm very happy today to be here. Very excellent talks and very elaborating discussions from the panels. I have two questions. Basically, they are linked together. So first of all, I think everybody agrees that we need to create a balance between the academia and the industry, always to flourish, like the example of Transformer, which came from a purely research effort, and now it's doing the wonders. And now recently, I think there is another algorithm which, with the name of Titan, that may improve what we can achieve through the data. My core question is about an opportunity in Saudi Arabia to develop, as Dr. Motasim discussed, about early detection of cancer and treatment response prediction kind of thing, and other talks which were talking about foundation models. So currently we are lacking in digitalizing a lot of data from the hospital where we can then leverage AI. Especially to develop foundation models for oncology and pathology, which I haven't seen. So we are trying for last 1 year. I just came from University of Warwick last year. I was doing research on this area for last 5 years over there. And we are trying to find a path how we can do more digitalization and how we can collaborate with Sadaya, CACS, and maybe KAUST to develop these foundation models indigenously in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We can merge it in one question because we don't have time. Maybe. Dr. Mu'tasim?
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you we have to make integrated between the research or the academic research institutes and the private sector. Also, from my point of view, many initiatives we can launch it, like workshops and scholarship opportunities to just solve this problem. Regarding of the sharing data, recently we are suffering from the policies, how we can sharing data between many sectors. And this is a problem. This is why we need to discuss today in order to build very high, clear guidelines how we can sharing data between the sector in order to push and the AI models to be better and better.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, panelists. We are run of time. We'll try to see you again in next occasion. Thank you very much. Just